everybody, welcome to Ocala Garage, the post-haircut shave episode. Just going to do a little bit more work on the Daytona Coupe today. I think the last video I posted was the kind of finishing up the front suspension, so it's time to work on the rear. I am still waiting on a few parts from Factory 5. I think the upper link, the like 12-inch panhard bar and a few nuts and bolts and stuff to attach it are still on back order. They were actually supposed to be shipped with the kit, but when I did the initial inventory, that entire package was missing. So still waiting on it, but I'm gonna at least put on the rear brakes and maybe we'll do a couple more things. But that's where I'm at today, so stick around. There's I got the rear brake package from Factory 5. I did not get the Willwood upgrades. I figured we'd try the ones that come out of Factory 5 first, and if they stop the car, fine. Why do I need to spend the extra $2,000 on Willwood brakes? But this is a separate downloadable set of instructions. So I got this. If you ever watched the Factory 5 videos on assembling the car, they're quite a number of years out of date. And the ones that they had online, you actually are supposed to take the axles out of the rear end to attach these plates. But you can see the plates now have this little like C cutout, so they actually will slide over the axle without having to remove it, which is super nice. So we're going to see how these all go together, and I'll meet you at the rear end. I'm going to take you all on a little quick tour. So what I've done is I've placed the rear end in the orientation that it's going to be in the car, just to help get everything lined up. And so this bracket here has 4 holes. Previously you had to remove the axle just to slide the plate on, but they've got that C cut out. So let me get you back on the tripod and I'll show you how that goes together. Alright, so this goes on just a particular orientation. I believe it goes on this way, so you kind of slide it down. You can't, let me show you right here. Slide it over here and then it slides onto that, and you can see it kind of hangs on there. And then these 2 holes here line up with the 2 holes, I believe, 2 holes back here, and then it and then these 2 holes line up with these 2 holes. So we'll see how that goes when I bolt these in. Alright, so let's see how this is going to work out. So luckily there's just enough space to thread these bolts in and get them into the right spot. So we get that there. Get that there. Let's thread on the nut real quick. It doesn't really thread on super easily. I'm leaving these all loose until I get all the bolts in place. There's that one. And that one. Alright, so there isn't a ton of clearance, obviously, back here. Now you could remove the axle and give yourself more room. So you see how I had to kind of like move this back to get the bolt or the nut threaded? So it's a little bit of a tight squeeze back here. And these are to be torqued down 45 to 50 foot-pounds. So I'll go ahead and get these screwed in and tightened down. And then we'll come back for the how to install the other plate. Change the angle a little bit to install this bracket. This bracket goes behind the plate here. Let me slide you back a touch if I can. It goes behind the plate here, and this little cut goes on the square part of this bracket that's on the axle here. So there is only one way that it can go, that it'll fit. You can see if I put it on this way, the holes don't line up. So this way the holes line up. So same thing, there's 4 bolts and 45 to 50 foot-pounds of torque, and I'll come back after that is done. So I'm just gonna sit on my garage floor to do this. Normally I work on my workbench, but what the hell. So really all you need to do is get the brake pads into this caliper, and it's very important to make sure the caliper is going to be on the right side, the correct side of the vehicle. The bleeder valve is always supposed to be up, at least on these, on the rear brakes. So you want this towards the top, and then you know you have them on the right side, correct side. Because if it was on the other side, that would be towards the bottom, and that is not what we want. All right, now these are a little bit of a pain, because this little dude, this little spring, let me see if you can see it here, this little spring has to rest on this flat part here. So it's a bit of a, not terrible, but let me get that in there if I can. And see, it came out through the bottom because pain in the ass. All right, let me try this again. There's got to be a smarter way to do this. I just don't know what it is, other than just trying to get it in there. All nice and even. Now this might be easier if I did this on my workbench. I will, all right, there we go. That's in. Okay. Now we'll try this one here. And what I end up doing is I try to put this bottom in this little corner here. And then you can push down. But it slides back and forth, so. Ta-da! Easy peasy. All right. Whew. Okay, now we're gonna slide it over. I didn't do this on camera, but you know, you just slide it on. And I secured it down with a lug. And then we're gonna get this on and secure this to that rear facing bracket with these little bolts. So I will get that. Actually, let me film this. This is kind of a pain in the ass. Hang on, we'll reposition and come back. This is gonna be a decent angle. It probably won't. Oh, that's actually not too. Well, see, you know, the other side went on horribly. Like, it was just really terrible. So you just kind of line it up and get the screws or bolts in place. Get one and then the other. I don't know if you can even see, but that's the bolt on the bottom. And then easy peasy. Now they have a couple of shims that they send with the kit in case you need to center this up some. This one is quite centered as it sits, so I do not need the shims. And then I'm just going to tighten these down to 55 foot-pounds of torque, and we're done. Well, that's it. Rear brakes are on. Rear brakes, calipers, not too bad. I think what I'm going to look at doing next is I've got the longer panhard bar, and maybe I'll get that assembled and see if we can get the coilovers suspended. And maybe a couple other things done on the rear end. I've got these brackets here that attach to the rear end that are what the coilovers connect to for that. So these are interesting because there's a left and a right side. They are different. This one kind of has a plate in the bottom. This one's open, or this one's closed on two sides. So I believe I have everything I need to get that much done. So stay tuned for the next episode. I may go ahead and do that work right now. but it's going to be a different video. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. Hit me up with comments, suggestions, opinions, thoughts, critiques, whatever. And, hit that subscribe and like and all that stuff. And we'll see you in the next episode.